friend Jim here with JB's Big Adventure, coming to you from Lake Chapala, Mexico. And today I've got one of those videos that everybody's asking about, and that is, well, what are the steps? How do you buy a house in Mexico? And specifically here at Lake Chapala, what are the steps? And I've actually asked an expert, Dalia Zapata. Dalia, thank you so much for coming and sharing with us today.
Gracias.
I know you got
Gracias,
a wealth of information to share. And so what I wanted to do is I want to have Dalia because she's really experienced at this and she's done it a bunch of times. And I know that there have been folks that have come down here to Lake Chapala that I've actually just said, if you're looking to buy a house, this is who you want to talk to, not me. She knows she's really got her thumb on the pulse when it comes to the real estate market here at Lake Chapala. So I really appreciate her time and expertise to share with us. So Dalia, let's give our viewing audience here an idea of what are the steps, what happens when somebody's looking at buying a house here at Lake Chapala.
Oh, okay. First of all, thank you for inviting me. It's always a pleasure to do videos with you. What are the steps? Okay, so let's say that we go on a tour. I take you on a tour. You want to buy a house, and I take you on a tour and show you different homes. You tell me what you want, and I will show you exactly what you want to see.
Okay.
And then, so let's say that I show you 5 homes and you like the house number 3. And you say, Dalia, I really like house number 3 and I really feel that I should make an offer on it.
Okay.
Okay, then you're gonna tell me first how much you want to offer, when you would like to close, which notario you want to use, because you as the buyer, the buyers have the right to choose the notario. If you don't have a notario, then I can suggest you one here in the area.
So let's talk about what is a notario.
Okay.
Because people in the States normally they're either using an attorney or they're using like an escrow company.
Oh, mm-hmm.
But here they're notario. So share with us about notario.
Okay. Yes, a notario in Mexico is let's put it like a super lawyer. They all got to be lawyers. They're lawyers. They buy this like license, to be notarios. That it's not easy to get.
Okay.
It's not easy to get, and a notario is a person that gets faith of what
is required.
What is required
legally.
Yes.
Kind of like a referee type of thing. They're impartial, so they don't choose either side. They're basically, this is the way it needs to be done.
What the law says.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Yes. So you need to know that whenever you go here to a notario, everything that it's done through a notario, it's done well, is done right, and because they get outed and they can lose forever their license and never be a lawyer again. So yeah, so people needs to be sure that whenever they're going to a notario, things are gonna be done well. Also, the notario does the works as a title company.
Okay.
We don't have that here. It doesn't exist, and neither the escrow figure in Mexico. It doesn't exist. So the notario is going to revise the documentation on the property. Make sure it doesn't have, there's no lien on it, and it's free of debt. Okay, and there you can purchase that house. They're gonna revise all of that information, and the agencies here in the area, we work as depositaries. Okay, so you're gonna send the 10% and later the rest of the amount for the purchase of the house to the agency that you're working with, and then on the closing day, that money is a deposit. It cannot be used to pay. Let's say that the house is on a gated community and they haven't paid the HOAs in a year, and they don't have money to pay for that.
Okay.
If that could be negotiated, but they're gonna ask you. They're gonna ask you if you're okay doing that. If you're not, then the seller will have to will have to look for that money to pay that, and they have to, it's their obligation. Because the notario is going to request like no debts letters of everything.
Okay.
Okay. Then I always suggest my buyers to pay for an inspection in the house. That's a money well spent.
Yes,
And an
yes.
inspection costs from, depending on the size of the house, will go from like 5,000 to, let's say, 12,000. Okay?
Pesos.
Pesos.
Okay.
Pesos. Okay? And that is paid by the buyer. Then also another expense that foreigners are going to run into is as a foreigner, you need a permit from the Mexican government to allow you to buy property in Mexico. And that costs less than 6,000 pesos. Okay. Or about 6,000 pesos per person. Let's say that you and Barbara want to buy a house. Each of you are going to be required to have that permit. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. And that needs to be done before the closing. So let's say minimum like 1 or 2 weeks before. So because you want to make sure that it's going to be ready before the closing. Okay. So, and if you're not living here, let's say that you just came for a visit and you found a house, but you're not going to be able to come for the closing, then what you can do is leave a power of attorney. Normally they leave it on the agent that they're buying with, because and that is done at the notaria as well, at the notary.
Okay.
As same as the permit to buy property in Mexico, you do it at with the notary. And so either you name the agent that you're working with or somebody else, and that it's only specific for that house,
Okay.
unless you leave it open just to buy a property. But normally people know which house they're gonna buy,
Right,
and
right.
they do it specifically for that house.
Okay.
And then the expense for the deed, the deed costs about let's put it between 3.5 to 4.5% of the cost of the house.
Okay.
Okay, and that's it. Those are the expenses. The inspection, your permit, in case that you need a power of attorney, that is about 3,000 pesos also.
Okay.
And for example, if you're a couple, you don't need each one. You on
Okay.
one, you both give the power of attorney to a person.
Okay.
And basically that's it. In here in this area, because we're not on the border or close to the ocean, close to the coast, you don't need a fideicomiso. When you buy property here, you get a deed.
So there's some rules when it comes to foreigners buying property either close to the beach or close to the border.
Exactly.
Okay.
When you're buying close to the beach or close to the border, you don't get a deed. You buy through a fideicomiso.
Okay, and that's probably a good thing for another video, because we're talking about Lake Chapala. And one of the ththings I really want to let people know, and that is how important having a home inspection is.
Very, very
important.
I know, I have, on my experience, I can see, like, and I will tell you, I know that there's a little bit salitre there, or know this, that,
right.
And I will be able to see some things, but there are other things that are I'm not gonna be able to see, and neither the inspector. No, it's like a visual inspection.
Right.
He's not gonna know if the foundation was done properly, because for that he will have to do another thing.
Right.
That it's not part of the inspection.
Right.
You can always hire somebody to do that, but that's not part of a normal inspection.
Right.
But they come with like I think it's a UV lamp, and they go on the walls, and they can see if there's a leak or there was a leak and it was repaired. So it is very good. It's very important. I always recommend my clients to do it. If they don't want to do it, then it's up to them.
It's on them, yeah. And if you don't already know this, and that is that property here, I should say buildings, houses, buildings are not built with wood at all. You don't see sheetrock. You don't see any of that. Here, everything is done with bricks. It's done with cement. It's done with
sand.
With which?
Sand.
Sand, yes. And so it's done totally different here. So it's really important to, I can't say how important it is to have a home inspection done. And I've got folks that, if you're interested in having that, I can give you a referral of someone. But anything as we're closing here that you can think of that we need to share about when you're buying a house, important things to.
Yes, my suggestion is you as a foreigner don't know how we do things here. You don't
Right.
know how house are built. You don't know. So my suggestion is get an agent, get a reportable. Did I pronounce it right? An agent with a good reputation.
There you go. There you go.
Somebody that you can trust and can get you a good deal and guide you through a good successful closing and you buy a good house. That's my recommendation. You know, somebody that we know that did not use an agent and went through different difficulties.
Yeah.
So yes, for your own good, get an agent that has a good reputation that can help you
and I want to
advise you.
And I want to add to that, you know, I spent about 10 years in real estate in the States back in the late 90s, in the 90s up until the beginning of 2000s. And I cannot believe when I moved here, the number of people have told me that there's over 250 realtors between Jocotepec and Chapala. And to have a license here, all you need is, you don't have to have a license here, don't have to be certified, no testing, no experience, just a business card. I just want to tell you how important it is to have a reputable realtor that isn't just somebody that goes through the process with you to buying a house, but someone that's got your interest at hand. Not just looking for a check, but really care about your decision of buying a place and they're really your representation. Now, again, I invited Dahlia to be a part of this because we've had experiences together about people that have come down here from the channel that have actually had Dahlia sell them a house. And how important that is, because I talked to a lot of realtors when I first came here, and I wouldn't have wanted to hire any of them. It was really a bad deal. But the importance, and that's going to be another video also about how to find a good realtor, but the process of buying the house. We've given you the several steps. Dahlia's given you the steps of being able to do that. And I hope that's been helpful for you about buying a house here at Lake Chapala. So, friend, I just want to let you know we really appreciate you being a part of this channel, being a part of this community. Dahlia, thank you again for taking the time with us to share with us.
Thank you.
And you have an awesome day, and we'll see you on the next video.